Yes, I took $2 to $30,000 for another investor in 2 days, even after spotting buy and sell signals at the same time on my charts. And if you don't know this, you will keep blowing your account because the market will keep taking your profit. You will make profit today, tomorrow it will take it, because instead of buying, you are selling, and instead of selling, you are buying. And so you don't go and blow that in your next account. Basically, in this video, I'm going to show you how those kind of trap look like, and what to do, and how to know the right decision to make if you see a sell and buy example or entry at the very same time. Because trust me, you don't know the answer, and if you never know the answer, you will never win. Because this is very tricky. Like if you look at this point now, this point here is a demand zone, and that point at the top there is a liquidity gap. When a liquidity gap happens, what do? You sell. And when the demand zone pops up, what do? You buy. So when you are in this kind of situation, what do you want to do? Because this is not going to happen on only H4 time frame. This is going to follow you to all time frames. This mistake, like if you look at this point, there's space between that candle. Some people will look at this point as another liquidity gap. Some will say it's a fair value gap that has been retested, and even think of buying. But what if another zone, a sell zone, pops up at that same moment in time? What are you going to do? One wrong move, your account. And if you look carefully again at this moment in time, you will see that at this point that I marked, price was respecting it. So are you trying to tell me the trend is in the uptrend, assuming I was looking for entries at that retest at that point there? No, don't go and buy. Don't go and buy, because they still sell example or sell entries around that point. You will blow your account if you make such rash decisions. Like this one here is a bad example, but if you look carefully again, you will still see that they still sell example at that same time, like literally at that same time. So what do you do? What do you do if you don't know the answer to this question? You will just keep blowing your account, because this is always happening. Like, and there's still more examples making us doubt the sell. If you look at this point here, you can see price was expecting this tiny mini demand zone here, and some people will be like, wow, it's nice. Price is respecting every structure. Like you now, you might go to your chart and you see something like, you be like, wow, it's respecting any structure at this moment in time. But if you go back, you will still see that there is actually sell entries currently. So if you have missed the whole buy, most people will be like, oh, I'm still going to catch the next buy, but now they will not see something at the top there, which is what? A resistance point. That point that does mark now, it is a resistance point. The one I marked lower is the demand, is a support point, while the one I marked higher is a resistance point. So are you going to expect price to keep respecting the support structure and keep buying, or now that price is currently at a resistance zone, you change everything, you forget everything, and then you start selling? What do you do? If you don't know the answer to this question, you will keep blowing your account for life. See, it's better you just quit trading at this moment in time, because if you look at that point again, there's another sell example which is currently getting retested, which is that third line that I marked. So now there's two confirmation at this 1 hour time frame that it is going to sell. But if you look to the lower picture, you will see that there is a untapped demand zone. So what are you saying? Are you saying this untapped demand zone is the zone that we should be looking to buy from? Because I don't understand what's happening here, and this is going to fuck you up mentally. Imagine seeing sell and buy this thing, and you want to make quick bucks. Let's say your account is at $1,000 and your target is, let's say, 30k or the likes of that. This is the deciding factor of if you buy GLE or not, and then you now make the wrong decision, and then you now lose all your money. How would you feel? Because if you go to M30, you see that price is retesting at this point 3 good times. Imagine 3 good times. It's rejecting at that point and even liquidated that low there. Some people will be like, wow, this is good. But there is more piece of the puzzle at this moment in time. But if you look carefully, you see that this sell is having more confirmation than this buy here. The sell is literally having more confirmation than this buy. But if you look carefully again, you see that price is actually respecting this buy structure perfectly. The sell is not equally respected, like it's not really clearly respected. But this buy entry or price action is beautifully delivered, but this one is having some weeks out. It's not respecting the high of this one. It's just like barely holding, but the buy is beautifully being respected. That's another trap. They will give you a beautiful zone, or they will give you a rough zone. You might think the rough zone is not the main one, and then you go for the beautiful one, and then you lose your account. Or you might think the beautiful one is not the main one, and then you go for the rough one that this rough one has more retest, and then you lose your account. So are you buying or are you selling? Are you buying or are you selling? Because if you go to 15-minute time frame, you will see more retest happening, and even a supply zone is even present. Imagine, even that supply zone has multiple retests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 retests on one supply zone. Most people will be like, oh, the more zone, the more retest, the better for you, or the likes of that. Dude, that's not this thing. Even the one with more retest might even be a liquidity point. Price might go lower, tap at that demand zone, and then liquidate that point there. So what do you do when stuff like this happen? Because even inside that retest, there was something like a demand zone inside of that retest. So at this moment in time, you are literally stuck. Should you buy or should you sell? This is very tricky, because even on, like, if you go to the side, you see that there's a demand zone there too, a buy entry around your sell entry. Dude, imagine you are trading now, you see a buy entry and then you see a sell entry. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? How do you know which one is the right one? Because if you don't, it will cost you your account. Imagine suffering to build an account. You suffered to build it, and then you now start seeing this thing is, you cannot escape it too. You can't escape it. It happens every single day. Look at the buy entries now. You can see that there's multiple retests happening here. You can even say, oh, I'm going to mark this point, that this point is the strong zone, is a strong support zone. There's another strong support zone, because the up one, the sell entry had a resistance. So this one, you say this is my own strong support zone, so, but this does not change anything, because if you look at that 5-minute point, there's buy and sell at that same point, exactly at that same point like this. They still buy and sell. So this one marking lower points is not going to change anything, because the current price action is literally a buy and sell gamble. So what do you do? Because apart from the demand zone that we have been seeing, there's even a fair value gap buy entry around that point there, and this one is the current move, the current entry, the current price action that price is currently giving us. But this is on 1 minute, it's not really significant. But if you go to the side, you see that price has been respecting structure on even 1 minute. It has been respecting structure. So that begs the question, should we buy the smooth structure, or should we sell the rough structure that is much more stronger and that has more confirmation, or let's just say smaller confirmation, because it's backed up by resistance and breaker block, and those are most of the strongest stuff we can do? Or should we buy short term because of the structure, or because of the price action? Buy price action is clean, while the other one is rough but strong. Well, you're about to figure out the answer, because basically the best situation, or the best thing to do at this moment in time, is actually to follow the clear price action for the short term and follow the strong price action for the long term. And what do I mean by that? So basically, the rough price action is selling and the clear price action is buying. So what you want to do is that you want to buy for some time, and then when price gets deeper into that sell price action and retest around that red line that we currently mark, what you want to do is you want to make a smart decision and don't enter at that red line. Why? Because there's a potential that you will get wicked out by the sell. But instead, if you're going to sell like I did here. You must wait for the breakout to happen, but this is on gold. On GBP/USD, if you use the same strategy, let's say you see a buy and sell example at the same time, if you want to make money, you have to fulfill other criteria. That means getting the buy and sell entry and following what I just preached now is not actually going to make or give you 100% doing it. Instead, you still have to get the right strategy and the right entry and the right point of interest, the right point of entry, the right take profits, the right SL, or else you're still going to blow your account. So that's what the next phase of this video is about. And also, you have to spam well. You need to spam well. So you can see I'm just spamming. I'm not explaining now. Basically, I'm showing you the picture. But now, after closing this entry, I'm now going to explain the right way to manage trade. And you can see I closed it and it was currently at 19 bucks. And if you look carefully, you see that green line that was marked that we wanted to buy now has been liquidated. It has been validated, and this is why you need to get the right or know the right time to get out of a trade, especially when you are trading good. So at this moment in time, I was hitting the sales. I increased my lot size and I was hitting the sales. Some ones entered, some ones did not, but we remain relentless. So basically, why did I sell at this moment in time? I'm going to explain it, but firstly, let me close this position. You can see I'm entering, go out, go in, go out, go in. I don't waste time. And also, whenever I go out, I increase my lot size and I go in again. So basically, now we're on M30 time frame, and the first reason, because there is a lot of reason why I'm selling. The first reason is basically the confirmation, which is that red line that my price is actually rejecting from, and also the fact that price liquidated all those buy lines too. That's another one, and that's just one of the 5 reasons. So basically, I closed at this moment in time because I've doubled my account at this moment in time. So as I'm closing now, I'm going to enter another position and I'm going to increase my lot size. So why I'm selling at this point is because price hasn't reached the pinnacle of exit. So it is just like kissing or almost kissing a demand zone. So that was basically one of the reasons why I was like still entering myself, and my network was bad here. I entered this position, but it's not showing as if I entered, but the result was mind blowing. You can see those sell. Let it load for some minutes and then boom. Now this is the perfect ways or perfect time to get out, because price is already kissing that demand zone. And then at this moment in time, I just called it a day because I was on vacation. I was doing something. That was why my network was not good, because the place I was going on this thing was having low service, so the thing was hanging. I said I was trying to close again. It did not close. It has closed already, but my network isn't loading it that it has closed. So basically, this is the next day, and GBP/USD gave us the same problem. And what's the problem? Basically, it was giving us a buy and sell entry at the same time, and you want to use another method for this one because this is GBP/USD. Gold is different from GBP/USD. AUD JPY is different from CAD JPY. They move differently. So basically, from this point in time, you can see there was a liquidity gap here on GBP/USD, and this is basically one buy example. So most people would have seen this stuff and they'll be like, wow, everything is good, they're gonna buy. That's the only confirmation they need. They don't know that they still sell confirmation lurking in the shadows that most people are going to see and then capitalize off, and who knows, they might even be unlucky. So who's going to be lucky this time? Is it the buy people or the sell people? Because if you look carefully, you can see that we are seeing a support zone there, and this is a very strong buy confirmation. Anything support or breaker block key level, especially when it's on one day, each for each one, man, those kind of confirmation, they are huge. They are huge. So basically, price liquidated that demand zone, liquidated that low, which serves or makes it a liquidity grab, and then it's currently reacting off a support zone. So that's like one, invalidation, and then two, confirmation. But if you go to H4 time frame, you see that it is actually rejecting from that so-called support zone. That is literally calling it or changing it to a support, turning to a resistance zone. But if you look on each one time frame, you still see that there is even a lower support there. So that's three buy and one sell. But when I looked at that point there, I saw another sell example. So that's three buy and two sell. Literally, price can just decide to react off that supply zone there, because he's already reacting off a support zone that is actually at this moment in time turning to a resistance zone. So basically, is this a sell dominant trade? Because there's even a fair value gap there that so is supporting the sell move. So now basically it is 3-3. It is 3-3, and if you go to H1 time frame, you see something like a supply zone. So this is going to make it 4, or if that does not count, maybe that space between that candle is going to make it 4. So let's just give it 4 sell confirmation and 3 buy confirmation. But if you look at this point there, you see that the sell wasn't actually delivering well. The sell order flow was not delivering well, but the buy order flow was delivering well. So it's still like that good. The buy was delivering well, but the sell was not delivering well. So at this moment in time, what are you going with? Are we sticking to the sells, or are we sticking to the buy? Because look at that buy was beautifully delivered. Look at the order block, everything was getting retested. It's now as if gold and GBP/USD, they were correlating together. Like, look at this beauty. But if you go and be taking them as correlation, you go do this thing tomorrow, like, so if you blow your account too, because they only work this way occasionally, maybe once in a while. So basically, the buy is being delivered beautifully, but the sell is not being delivered beautifully, but it has more confirmation. So, and even on M5, I see there was something like a liquidity gap there, which is more confirmation. And even on M1, if you look at that point there, you will see something like a breaker block. I won't call this a breaker block, but that demand zone lower is definitely valid. So literally, the buy confirmation is actually on equal terms with the sell confirmation because of all those lower time frame stuff. So what are you going to do? Because on the monthly time frame, you can see that price is reacting off that monthly strong point here, and it has even been respecting that other block at that monthly this thing there. So basically, bro, we just have to buy, because that buy has more confirmation, and also it is much more neater. So basically, we're doing the same thing we did on gold, and let's see if it's gonna work. So you can see I was just spamming, and at this moment in time it got to this point here, so I closed and then I went again, because when you have gotten a bias, you don't want to change it, you want to stick to it. That's all. Most people, when they get to buy this thing, they make small profit, they'll try and be selling early. No, I'll show you when to sell and when to buy, so stick around. So now I'm buying, but there's time for sales also. But if you don't know the right place to sell, you enter your sell position and then price will go up, liquidity, and then still come back and start selling. That's freaking annoying, and I don't wish that for even my enemy. So you can see I was in loss now, but at the end of the day I was in profit. So I added more position as price kept going up, and then this is my result here. Another price I got to the highest point I wanted it to do, I started selling. So a brief explanation for why, or this thing for why I was selling, is because one, price was at a volume point here. That candle there was a volume point, and even that candle around that point there was actually contributing for the sales. I know that overall the trend is in a downtrend, like that my gold this thing, you had the same criteria. So I bought on gold and then sell later. So basically that's the same thing I'm doing here. So I used the law of that candle as a resistance zone also. I did more position where price was going against me, because I saw a liquidity in form of trend line forming. Saw something like a consolidation and breakout, and even the supply zone was supporting my entry on lower time frame, which brought about this result. So at this point in time, I closed, went to my investor account once more, and then spammed again because I want this guy to be freaking rich. Then after some drop, I hit it again and again. So if you got value from this video, like, subscribe, click link in description if you want your account managed like this guy on my next video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.